started. So hi, everyone. This is Denise from the Long Island Arborn at Eastern Suffolk BOCES. And my colleague, Paskaya Pat Parpunis, is also joining me today. Today, we put together a presentation with a few presenters. We're going to be talking about virtual reference collections and other resources, library resources for our ELLs. Okay. Just a few logistics. I know some of you have joined us before. Please utilize the chat. So click on the chat now and put your first and last name in the chat. We're going to use this for attendance purposes. Make sure it is the first and last name that you used for My Learning Plan when you registered. Okay. To find other events that we have coming up, you can visit our webpage. It's esboces.org/liarborn. Okay. And also follow us on Twitter if you have not already. It's @liarborn. Okay. I will display this page again at the end. This is all of our contact information. So right now, while we are out of the office, we are working remotely from home, and you can best reach us through email. So I will display all of our email addresses again at the end of our presentation. We also have a brand new YouTube channel. I know many of you have subscribed already. If you did not have a chance yet, please go to our YouTube channel. You can use the bit.ly link, and Pat is going to put the link in the chat for you. So it's bit.ly/liarborn YouTube. And here's where we post all of our webinars that we've been creating for you, and also hello, can you hear me?
Not well. No, it's no.
Okay, sometimes your voice comes through like a computer. That's
okay. Let me move around my house. I'm sorry, and see if I can get a better internet connection. Hold on. Okay, I apologize. I hope you can hear me better. I moved around my house. Carl, can you hear me now?
I can hear you.
Okay. All right. So my apologies. If you didn't have a chance yet, please use the chat and put your first and last name in the chat so we could use that for attendance purposes. This should be the first and last name that you use for your My Learning Plan account. I'll go back a slide so that you can see our website. So if you're interested in joining other upcoming events, you can go to our website, esboces.org/liarborn, and Pat will put that link in the chat as well for you. All right. Our contact information, again, I will display this at the end of our presentation, because while we are working remotely, we are available to you through our email. Right. Here's our brand new YouTube channel. I know many of you have subscribed already. This is where we include some of our webinars, and then also recording of today's presentation will be here shortly. And so you can check here for anything new that's been posted or something you may have missed. You can use the bit.ly/liarborn YouTube, and Pat will put this link in the chat as well for you. All right. So this afternoon, we're going to be talking about remote resources for ELLs. We have Carl Vitovich from Eastern Suffolk BOCES. We have Bridget Sittler from Nassau BOCES. And we have Sarah Kardask from Western Suffolk BOCES. Each will be presenting a little bit about the library systems that they have available to their component districts, and also some resources that are available to all districts. So I don't want to keep you waiting any longer. I will pass through here. I'll get started with Carl. Carl is the administrative coordinator for the school library systems at Eastern Suffolk BOCES. Carl, are you ready to share?
Yes, I am.
Okay, thank you. I'm going to stop sharing, and I'll turn it over to you so you can start sharing whenever you're ready.
Okay. Hello, everyone, on this lovely Tuesday. and it's a sunny day.
Hi, Carl.
So, out in Easton Suffolk BOCES, school library system, we have a virtual reference collection. That's a collection that each district subscribes to. Let's see. Okay. To get to it, you can go to esboces.org/SLS, and then down on the lower left-hand side, there's an option for virtual reference collection. And when you go to that, it brings you to this page where you select on the pull down, you select your district in your school, and then you populate it with the username and password that the librarian has provided. In the old days when we were all in school, the students did this and they knew this quite well, and they still do. So what do you get with the virtual reference collection for Easton Suffolk BOCES? We have 3 different types. We have an elementary, middle school, and high school. Novel New York databases are free from New York, paid for by a federal grant, and those are designated by the little blue icon of Novel New York. Those that are purchased through and by the school library system have the little red VRC icon by them, and you can see the numbers there. These are the vendors that you're getting. Vendors are those that provide those services, and you see there's quite a wide range. I'm going to be going live to show you what some of them look like, especially for the L population. But we also have on there music, we have interactive books. If you're in Suffolk as Suffolk County and your library participates with the Suffolk Cooperative Library System, you have library information is there as well, and there's also teaching books. These are examples of some of our Rosen ebooks that we have. We have 150 different titles, individual books in there. Unfortunately, they are not in multi-languages, but they are very colorful. They do read to you, and there are example of lesson plans and sheets that you can use, or word shorts and graphic organizers. So it's quite an extensive collection, and it goes from character ed to American history to coding, immigration, Native Americans, and the list goes on. We also have royalty-free music available for those that want. In the old days, again, when we were back in school, as they were working on projects, they could do these as well. But even now, they can download these and put them into whatever presentations that they're working on. They come wide range of styles, tempos, and time lengths. They can go from 30 seconds to 60 seconds to over a minute. And on some of these, you can use those also in Google Slides. You just upload it and you can set it up as a loop to go through your presentation. Why do we want to use royalty-free music as opposed to just finding something or your favorite song on the internet? Well, basically, it's copyright violation. Especially if you're posting something on YouTube, you want to make sure that the music you have is what they call royalty-free. And that's what Sounds Abound is. We pay for the rights to be using them. They've paid the artists, and when the artists go into it, they know that it's going to be used for this purpose, as opposed to commercial music. Okay, and Teaching Books offers author and book resources, along with other special collections. And a QR code, once you get to the page, you can always pull it up with your phone for quick and easy QR code access. Just so you're aware, there are different template interfaces. They all do the same thing, they just look differently. This is our default blue color. There's a green one that a lot of our schools are starting to use. And there's also an elementary version with the owls on each side and blocks. Okay, there's my contact information. Now what I like to do is, this is what it looks like live. If at any point you're visiting, you're talking to one of your students and they don't know how to get in, they can just email us. They can contact the school librarian, or they can go to SLShelp@esboces.org. The three of us will get that email at our remote locations, and we can send a username and password back to them so they can get in. Some of the ones that you would like to point out for your L population. First off, we have, let me just go, it's easier if I just go by vendor. Actually, see, I can change it to vendor. There we go. So going down, Read It, as you can see right here from EBSCO Publishing, is straight out for ELL population. Britannica Escolar is totally in Spanish, but also you can use Britannica School, which will also change levels and also languages. Almost every database that we have in here, you can go to the upper right-hand corner and change the language that's there. So you can see there's quite a wide range of material, from health to science to history. One cool feature that one database that we have added is FactSite 123. So I'm just going to log in real quick. I go never for this website. So this is lingo. So if I go in here to say the elements, and then I go look at copper. So here's this in English. If I go to the upper right-hand corner, this little icon here with the A, I can click on it, and it changes it to Spanish. It does not read in Spanish yet. If I click over and I press the mouse button down, it gives me the results in English. If I go back up and I change it back to English, again, it will read back down in Spanish. Okay. That's just one of the many databases that we have. I'd also like to take you, and after I'm done sharing, I will put this in the chat for everyone. Here at Easton Suffolk BOCES, we set up an educational resources page. Basically, would like to show you the Connecting to the World. On here, this came out in New York City yesterday. So it's a listing of all COVID-19 books that are free in multiple languages. And you can click on the cover and just go and look at them as you so please. And there's quite a few different languages and different age levels too. There's also, on the right-hand side, this authors and ebooks section that was put together. A lot of our authors can do read alouds, and they are doing so, so you can find some here. For your L population, down at the bottom, unfortunately, there's will books. They have quite a few titles. They have 1,000 titles in both English and Spanish. There, you click and read. There is no signing in. And you can look through everything else through here that you might find of interest. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me via slshelp@esboces.org. And we're going to stop our share. And there we are. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, Carl. We have just a few questions.
Yep.
We saw that we were able to change the language in the upper right corner. Do they have Mandarin? That was one of the questions.
In that FactSite 123 lingo, that is only in Spanish. However, there are other databases, depending upon what you're looking at. Most of them have, in the upper right-hand corner, a lot of them use Google Translate. So it depends on where you're looking to see if it is available in that particular language.
Okay, thank you. And then
You're
there was one other question when you first began your presentation. If students don't have library cards or expired library cards, how can they utilize library? Yeah.
If they contact their local library, and they'll set them up. they've been doing this since this whole thing started because you can't go and verify the library card. They will do that over the internet. They'll just set you up with a temporary card.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Does anyone else have any questions? Carl, I did put, and participants, I put the email address slshelp@esboces.org in the chat. So if you needed that, you can reach Carl through that email address, right?
Correct.
Okay. All right. If you have any questions for Carl as we go into the next presentations, you can always put it in the chat, and then we can come back and ask him some questions if you have them. Okay. Thank you, Carl.
You're welcome now.
Next, we're going to, so that was Carl from Eastern Suffolk BOCES. Now we have Bridget from Nassau BOCES. Bridget, I saw you on with us. Are you ready to share?
Oops, hit screen sharing too soon. So I'm going to share my screens with you and walk through. We have a similar service to Eastern Suffolk BOCES. Like, they have the VRC. We use the same interface, but we are called Find It. On the Find It pages, we only have databases that the district purchases and the Novell, New York databases. To get there, if you don't have your school link, you can go in off the school library system webpage. If you scroll down to the right-hand side, it says Find It drop down. And then you would find your library. I'm going to go into the Nassau BOCES page for right now, just because that is the most basic version that you would see, because we don't purchase any additional databases.
Bridget, can you, when you get a moment, can you just give us the email, the web address to the page before this? So
Yes.
that, okay, thank you.
The Nassau BOCES homepage is at nassauboces.org/NSLS.
What is it?
Great, thank you. I put it in the chat for everyone as well. So it's nassauboces.org/NSLS. Thank you, Bridget.
Okay. And then to find a drop down, and then you would have to find your library. To get into your page. So the basic databases are the Gale databases and the Britannica databases that are provided through Novell, New York. We also purchase Rosen Interactive Ebooks and have a subscription to teaching books for the districts. We provide access to Sounds Abound, but only for the middle schools and the high schools at this point, and we provide access to 7 different selections. The Gale databases all use Google Translate, which is, I think it's 27 languages. It might be more on that. The Rosen ebooks, as Carl said, do not come in Spanish or any other language. They are in English only, but they do read aloud, and they are easy to read and follow. The ENL and ELL teachers that I have spoken to, the reason why they do like Find It is because it is one place for their students to go to find the resources, as opposed to having to have 40 different passwords. It can look very different depending on what district you're in, with all the databases that your district resources allow you to have. Some districts do provide Spanish or other ELL specific resources. Other districts The only thing that you have is the basics that are on the find its. And you do need usernames and passwords in order to get in. And your librarians have that. They're supposed to share it out with the teachers. Whether or not they have, I don't know, but the librarians can provide you with the access information. And that's really all I have to say at the moment, unless anybody has any questions.
Thank you, Bridget. So just to be clear, when Carl was presenting, he was presenting for the Eastern Suffolk BOCES component districts, and now Bridget was presenting for the Nassau BOCES schools. This is exclusive only to the Nassau BOCES schools, right, Bridget?
Correct. Because of the way Eastern is set up, they have a broader access depending on what's purchased by their district. And then ours, as I said, this is the basic. Anything else is only if your district happens to purchase it.
Right. So it would be best for you, for participants to reach out to your school librarian and confirm that you are subscribing to the research databases, and then to get your password, your username and password from them, and then to kind of, explore around, because again, these are more resources that you may already have at your fingertips that you didn't realize you have, that you can bring into your distance learning plan. So thank you, Bridget. And if you have more questions for Bridget, you can put them in the chat, and then we can ask her at our next break. So thank you. Thank you, Bridget. So whenever you get a moment, you can stop sharing your screen, and we'll get ready to share for Western Suffolk.
My screen just froze up on me. So now it doesn't want to expand. Okay.
Thank you. Okay, so next we have Sarah from Western Suffolk BOCES. Sarah, are you with us?
Yes, I'm here.
Thank you. So I'm going to stop sharing, and Sarah will show you the toolkit that Western Suffolk BOCES has.
Okay, so first of all, if you can see my cat sitting next to me, I must apologize for my unprofessional cat who was bothering me today.
No apologies needed. Thank you.
Normally she doesn't do this.
Love the cat.
Yes. Okay, and the other thing I have to ask Denise is that it was my understanding that what I was supposed to be showing was the stuff that we put together that's free during this time.
That would be great.
So that's different than what Carl and Bridget were just showing.
Right. So Carl and Bridget were showing their library systems that are exclusive to their component school districts. But
Right.
You have,
and I have that too.
Yeah.
But that's not what I was going to show today.
Yeah. If I know we discussed you sharing the online toolkit, which would be helpful for every participant that is here. So if you want to start with that,
Right.
That would be great. Thank you.
Can you see my screen here, Denise?
Yes, we do.
Did I do it right?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, so one of the things, I'm from Western Suffolk BOCES School Library System, and one of the things that's often confusing for people, we find, and we often are, finding it kind of humorous, but some people don't know which BOCES they're in, their district. So Western Suffolk has 18 public school districts. This is the list here of who is at Western Suffolk BOCES. And what we were told when this whole pause started was my division, which is the Division of Instructional Support Services, was told to contribute to an online toolkit, which is really available to anybody. And we were supposed to be contributing resources to this from all the different subject areas. So this is the toolkit. There's one person who is putting it together. So we submit whatever we find to her. And she has organized it into different subject areas. And the truth is there's a ton of stuff here. Like, I honestly have not explored every single subject area that's here. but you'll see she does have English language learners tab.
Sarah, I'm sorry to interrupt you. Just when I think you have to share that next screen, the browser,
Okay.
because we're still looking at the presentation. We didn't see the toolkit yet.
Okay. Thank you. All right. So I have to just remember how I need to do that. I thought I already had it open.
Yeah, you should have it open. Just go to share screen, and then you'll select a different screen. You'll select the browser that shows the online toolkit.
Okay. So do I have to stop share first and then go
Yeah.
back to share screen? And here it is. I think I did it right that time. I apologize. Do you see it now?
Yes.
Yes, we do. Thank you.
Yay. Okay, so this is the online toolkit. As I was saying, there are many different subject areas here. She does have a tab for English language learners, though I did not necessarily contribute to this tab. So here's actually, I think this was one of your presenters, Denise, Blanca.
Yes, it was. Yes.
Yeah. So there's a link here to her using Flipgrid, and they have your Education Resource Network linked here. And then she got some information from other places that she's got links here. Some of these may be of use for you, some may not. If you know of some wonderful links that you've used that are not listed here, we would love to get them and add them to this list. It's a pretty extensive list, as you can see. I obviously did not check every single one of these to see what it is exactly and whether it might be usable for you. But then she also has, I wanted to go back one. I mean, I have contributed specific things that are gone to this library media page. But there's other things here that I did not necessarily give to her. So again, everybody is kind of sending stuff her way and she decides where to put it. This is a really nice link here from New York City, from their school library system, of free ebooks related to teaching students about COVID-19. There are some in Spanish, and that school library system in New York City has a pretty sizable staff, and they come up with some really nice stuff that we all link to. Apparently there's a battle of the books that's going to be going on in Levittown. And then down here, what I did when I was contributing was I started with my current vendors who I already have relationships with and who I know are EdLaw 2D compliant because they've already signed those documents. So I started with those. So like Britannica Teaching Books, Gale, Jove, all of these are vendors that are on my regular price list. And then I also added other vendors that are, or people offering free resources that are not, but that I feel are trustworthy. So like the Digital Public Library of America is a free resource, and they have some excellent things here. And by the way, Carl Vidovich is our regional, oh, now I'm gonna forget what it's called, regional representative for the Digital Public Library of America. And he could give you additional information about that. So as I would just say that if you have time, you can access this online toolkit directly from the Western Suffolk BOCES website. That's wsboces.org. And they have a link there where you can go to this. But as I said, it's a wealth of information, and people just keep, I would encourage you to look at the science tab, because our outdoor ed person has created some really nice little videos for kids to do things outside, science related. So other than that, I would just say that my vendors that I handle are similar to the ones that Carl and Bridget handle. They maybe have a little bit more because they're a larger BOCES than we are. But I think there's probably quite a number that are the same. So if you happen to be in a Western Suffolk BOCES school, as was said before, check with your school librarian to find out what resources have been purchased for in your building. And this is a good time to be testing out some resources because so many of them are free, and you might find something that you could request that it be added for 2021 that perhaps you're not currently getting. So I guess that's it, unless somebody has questions.
Thank you. And I know I put the link to this online toolkit homepage so that you can go there. And this can be accessed by any school district.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, this was intended to be free resources that are being available at this time. So really anybody can access them.
Thank you. And one participant was asking, can teachers put a link on their Google sites to access the Western Suffolk BOCES site for the online toolkit?
Sure.
Yeah, I think
Yeah, we want to get it out there as much as possible to benefit as many people as possible.
Yeah, I think it's important to notice too that the online toolkit is a toolkit, so it has a bunch of different resources. So you as the teacher during your planning may want to take a look at one of the resources and then just link that site to your Google Classroom accounts or assign something from one of those websites. But if you have students, I know we've been talking to teachers throughout the entire region. Students don't have books or don't have any other books. They only had what they brought home in their book baggies or had borrowed from the library. And so these resources can help you get books to your students, virtual books to your students, whether they're in English or in their native language, to help support their literacy development. So
I actually just submitted one today, this Junior Library Guild, and I see she got it in there already. I just sent it to her this morning. But they have access to ebooks at elementary, middle, and high school. There's 3 different levels. And they can be either that they read the books online or they can be read to them. So that's one I just had added today. You may want to take a look at that one. So thank you.
Excellent. Thank
Great
you.
idea.
I'm going to put that link in the chat. That was Junior. I was typing it.
Oh,
Sarah, what is
I
it?
just closed it.
Here?
I think if you just go to jlg.org, let me just double check that.
Okay.
I'm sorry, I closed it.
That's okay.
Yeah, let's go down here. Here it is. Okay, www.juniorlibraryguild.com.
Okay, great, because I think we see a lot of digital and ebooks for our younger students, picture books, read aloud, but this one, as you mentioned, had books at all levels, middle school and high school, so that would be great for our students, for all of our
Yeah,
students.
and I would mention that Tumble Books is on free right now, and I've seen a lot of links, and even on this toolkit, and I have to double check, that go to the elementary level, but they do have a teen cloud that's free, Tumble Books, and that's all young adult, so, and high school, so that is also available.
Thank you. So we can take a look at those different resources. Let's see here. I'm going to stop sharing your screen. Thank you, Sarah. If you have any other questions for any of our participants, our presenters, you can put it in the chat now. Okay. And while you're thinking about all of these different resources, it does take some time to comb through, but again, Pat and I, during our planning, we wanted to bring you resources that your districts may already have. So we talked in the past about Brain Pop and PBS learning media. These are all things that we're familiar with, but maybe we hadn't had the chance to explore in the past. And the same here. Many of your school districts have a subscription to the library systems already, the VRC, and Sarah shared, some of the free resources that they have compiled together. So, you know, take a look and see what might be, you know, meaningful for your students, and share it with your students as you see fit. Okay. If you just joined us, we are just about wrapping up. But please make sure that you put your full name, the name that you use when you register on My Learning Plan, in the chat, because in combination with your name that you put in the chat, and your evaluation form that you complete on My Learning Plan, that's how we can confirm your attendance for today's meeting. Okay. So right now you're looking at a screenshot from one of our resource specialists, My Learning Plan account. And so when you go to this activity, you are already registered, okay? And you will see an icon. It looks like a clipboard with a check mark, a green check mark. That's how you access the evaluation form, okay? The section workshop and evaluation form. So you're going to click there, all right? And then it will bring you to this page, which shows the different actions, and you want the session workshop evaluation, okay? So make sure you complete that evaluation, because in your account, once we confirm your attendance using your name, we will then see if you completed the evaluation, and that's how we will confirm your attendance for participating.
Where is this? Could you repeat that? Where is this we do this?
Sure. So you have to log back into My Learning Plan. That's where you registered for the session. And next to the activity, okay, so it'll show Tune In Tuesday for library resources. Next to that activity, you will see this clipboard with the green check mark. You'll click there, and it will bring you to this page, which will show you some actions. And the action you want to take is to complete the session workshop evaluation form. So we will not see your evaluation form, but we will see that you completed it. And once you have completed it, we will confirm your attendance, okay? And that's helpful for us to design future sessions, to see where our strengths are and what, you know, you're looking for in the future. So that's really important to us. Again, here is the contact information for our specialists from Eastern Suffolk BOCES, Carl from Eastern Suffolk BOCES, Bridget from Nassau, and then Sarah from Western Suffolk BOCES, and their email addresses. Reach out if you have questions. But again, for the VRC and for the database that Bridget was showing you, make sure that you reach out to your librarians first. They will have your login information, okay? And then if there's some issue there, your librarian may want to reach out to either Eastern Suffolk BOCES or Nassau BOCES to find out login information if they don't have it.